Hey kids, this is Pulse Ray Vision coming to you live from Quattro Cinco Studios in my mom's basement. And here we are reading another part of Rings of Dust. Rings of Dust, that book up there. Getting ready for some audiobook production and getting a good feel from the audience. It hits different when you read it in front of people. I've read this a ton of times, and I've also told Claude to fix a lot of these problems about 8 times in a row, and it's like, yeah, they're fixed, and then it doesn't fix it. So if I appear a little bit irate and silly, it's because I've already fixed these things like 8 times. Anyways, we're going to be reading chapter 27, part 2, and this is the second to last chapter, so we're getting close to the end. So we'll share the screen right here. And we just saw Cole go inside the cabin. Which, wait a minute. Oh my goodness, this is not a great way to start it off, but I'm going to start it off this way. Okay, if we go up here to the top. Yeah, the sun was when he pulled up. Okay, I thought that he had been there. Wait. The western ridge. So if it's on the western ridge, then doesn't that mean that the sun is coming up? Like this is the morning? Western. Yeah. No, the eastern. He sees the stars come out. He's in California. Yeah, this would mean this line in chapter 27 indicates that the sun is rising, but then right after that, you see him start seeing the stars come out. So is this dawn or dusk? You got to figure out. It makes more sense that it's at dusk, that he gets home really late. And then right after he shows up, then Emily shows up. That makes sense. And then after he talks to them, yeah, he would go inside to see Sharon. Yeah, it says in line 316, the stars were coming out over the ridge. That when your sun's in the wrong place for California. All right, the room was bright with the afternoon light that came through the window. Oh my gosh, what the hell is wrong with you? There's like 5 days in one here. Okay, genius. We just pointed out that this is definitely evening. This is nighttime. And now we have afternoon light coming in through the window. You can't get the timing of days of the solar cycle of a day right. How are you going to get all of these 4 different storylines lined up? Sharon was in her chair by the window, which appeared to be her consistent choice. It faced east towards the ridge that went up into the pines, and the afternoon light came from behind the cabin and lit the side room sideways, golden and direct. Oh, the Rhoda Atlas. Oh God, the Rhoda Atlas again. A different copy from Emily's, a larger format, was open on the table on the right hand side. Okay, jeez Louise, jeez Louise. Oh my gosh. Okay, besides the time of day and the light being totally wrong and the stupid Atlas being beat to death, let's talk about the fact that Sharon sounds like an invalid, a 200-year-old crippled invalid. She's not. She's a badass. She's getting used to her body again. She's fine. She's actually probably getting ready to start some shenanigans, and she's probably ready to join the collective as they work on the flywheel and bring energy and food and a higher quality of life to everyone on Earth. As you can see, the further the chapter is down in the book, the less I've worked on it and read it. So this is gonna be fun. She was tracing a route. The augmented arm moved with careful precision of something being trained, small, deliberate corrections, controlled grip pressure, the continuous low-level attention to the mechanics of itself. 7 weeks of running the hardware, learning the range. I'm going to throw up. This is horrible. I'm going to throw up. This sounds like she was paralyzed in a car crash. I mean, sure, her head was blown apart, but she was put back together, and now she's pretty badass. She is still figuring out the range and power that she has. That's kind of funny. But this part right here is it makes me want to throw up. She looked up when Cole came through the door. Augmented eye tracked him before the left one did. The bronze indicator dimmed fully, the conditioning link severed. The hardware operated as an independent optical system with its own cadence. The tracking was faster than the left eye by a fraction. She was learning to account for 2 sets of incoming data at slightly different intervals, and the brain deciding which one to lead. You pay attention to the differences. You practice, you get better. Well, first of all, that's stupid. That's so stupid. So stupid. We're never going to get through the rest of this chapter. Okay, the augmented eye tracking him, the bronze eye, that's cool. Having it go dim and stuff. But the truth is, one eye would always be faster than the other, so the brain wouldn't have to figure out which one was first. In fact, the brain would basically throttle the information coming in from the faster eye, the augmented eye, and make it match the natural eye. That's all. She looked at him. The left eye was fully present. She set the pen down. Cole crossed the room, sat in the chair across from her. For a moment, they were quiet in the way. 2 people are quiet. Oh, no. When they've been carrying the same thing from distance, just put it down. What did I tell you about this dog shit formula? They did it in a way that they did a thing, and then they did a thing to set the down thing, and the thing. Gosh, just get rid of this shit. Get rid of this shit. Find it in other places in the book before I find it. Here's the problem with plot. You can't threaten it with anything. You can't tell it it's not going to get supper. You can't tell it you're going to punch it in the throat. You can't tell it something bad's going to happen to it. It's this stupid math floating with no context of time or space. Hi, she said. Hi, he said. She looked at his face the same way Emily had, the same inventory, except where Emily's was the inventory of a silly reading for damage, Sharon's was something older and more specific, the inventory of a person reading for the particular presence she had been looking for in the dark for 7 months. Oh! Yeah, I don't like that. Emily's was an inventory. This is cold, boring, and clinical. Put it in human language with emotions. 365. You look like yourself, she said. More than before, actually. People keep saying that. It's true. You're all here. Well, she just said it in the same chapter. Like in the part before here. Sharon literally said the same shit earlier in the same chapter in an earlier segment. She turned her left hand on the armrest, palm up, not a gesture, just a position. There were days before where I could tell that parts of you had gone somewhere else for the day and you were operating on what was left. I know. I used to find it very annoying. I know that too. Something shifted at the corner of her mouth. He knew that shift. He had been carrying it in his interior for 14 months, and it looked exactly the same as he remembered, and like no approximation of it had ever been accurate. Jiminy shitness. That's a great sentence, but it's written horribly. This is a great sentence, but it's written horribly. It's so cold. Interior approximation. Those words are great for a white paper or a book report. They're shit for what's going on. Something shifted at the corner of her mouth. That's great. He knew that shift. That's great. He'd been carrying it in his interior for 14 months. First of all, 14 months. Let's see if we can get that timing fixed, because who the hell knows? It definitely wasn't 14 months. But we should say he had been carrying it with him the whole time she had been gone. And it looked the same. There was no way to counterfeit her warmth. I'm not crazy about that either, guys, but it's way better than that. There are gaps, she said. I want to be honest with you about that. Some of them are closing. Dr. Hexo says the memory architecture is intact. The conditioning put pressure on the access pathways and storage. It's like, she paused to find the analogy. The books are there. Some of the shelves got rearranged. I keep opening doors that lead somewhere unexpected. Okay, this is all repetition. This is all repetition. This was all stated earlier. She does not to be honest about any of this shit. He knows. It's just not coming clean or being vulnerable. This is just regurgitation of earlier conversations they had on the ship. She looked at the window. I have you, I have Emily, I have the cabin and the fire and the blackberry preserves, which someone has very helpfully brought me 3 jars of since I'd been home, and I have no idea who. Ricardo? Of course. She almost smiled. I have that lot, she said quietly. The end of a dead road at night, I'd prefer not to, but can apparently not get rid of. I have large chunks of everything before the mission that feel clear. She looked at him. What I'm missing is mostly the sequence. I know the events, but sometimes I'm not sure of the order or the timing or which things belong to which year. It's disorienting. I'm working on it. Okay, this part right here. Yeah, apparently rid of it. Yeah, that's all. This is very, very clunky. Sometimes she says cul-de-sac. Sometimes she says a lot, meaning like a parking lot. But it wasn't really a parking lot. It was a pullout, like a cul-de-sac in a worn-down industrial area. And so you could probably just say the dead-end road that night, and that it's now a part of her instead of that she can't get rid of it. We can do this slow, Cole said. Hey, Sharon said. He looked at her. Where'd you go? She said. Somewhere I needed to be, she said. She looked at him with the left eye and the augmented eye both steady. Good place or bad place? Good place, he said. I'm back now. She nodded. She turned her hand on the armrest again, palm up, and he moved his chair forward and took it. Hey, baby girl, he said quietly. Oh, that's weird. The way he had always said it, he had not called her baby girl. Not a performance, not a declaration, just the name that lived between them. Oh, geez, Louise. Where the fuck did this come from? I don't think he's called her baby girl the entire book. And she wouldn't want to be called baby girl. She's a badass. He might have a softer pet name for her, but baby girl sounds weird. And it's not a name that lived between them. That's weird. Oh my gosh. Find something more earnest and adult. She squeezed his hand once. The augmented arm on the other handrest did not move. The hand he was holding did. They sat for a while with the afternoon light coming in through the window and the pines moving in the wind. Yeah, I like the pines moving in the wind. Pines moving in the wind above the ridge and the road atlas on the table. Jeez Louise. Oh, geez Louise. Why? Okay, so there's no afternoon light, first of all. Second of all, get rid of the goddamn atlas. Okay, the wind in the trees, the pines, that's beautiful. Keep that. Alt's new pen marks. They didn't need to say anything for a while because some things don't need to be said with words when two people are sitting in the same place at the same time, having arrived there for a very long distance. Okay, that is holy shit. Okay, so this is like the fourth time you've said the exact same thing about them arriving at a place and things not needing to be said. In fact, you have things that don't need to be said between every couple in this book. You say it about Sami and Emily. You say it about Cole and Sharon. You say it about Heavy and Sam. Like, where are you pulling this shit from? There was a sound from the doorway. Cole did not turn immediately. He knew the sound. He had known it for years. 6 mechanical limbs on a wood floor, trying to be quiet and failing because 6 mechanical limbs had an irreducible minimum of noise that had no amount of effort could ever reduced. Oh, that's really funny, and you fucked up the end. Here we go. This is fun. This is really funny, but when you say irreducible minimum of noise, no effort had ever reduced, that's stupid. That's so bad. I think you should say 6 mechanical limbs on a wood floor, trying to be quiet and failing because they were 6 mechanical limbs on a wood floor. Sharon looked at the doorway. Bitboy was in it. He was standing at the threshold with the cautious posture of an animal that was trying to assess whether it's welcome in a room. Body weight slightly back, mechanical arms folded, the amber brown eyes doing their careful scan. One of the arms still the replacement brace from the cargo bay incident. Heavy had offered to have it properly replaced. Bitboy had refused the sedation required for the procedure twice, and they'd agreed to revisit the question at some point in the future that had not yet arrived. Oh, wow. Jeez Louise. Is this supposed to be written in the English language? Because English language has sentences, pauses, and it wraps thoughts up cleanly. You just dribble on forever with one sentence, and then you just throw some hyphens in there and a lot of ands and a lot of commas. That doesn't make a ridiculously long sentence okay. He looked at Sharon. Sharon had looked at him, and Sharon said, with the left eye and the augmented eye both entirely clear in the exact voice she had always used for it, "Hi, you little bastard." Wait a minute, he didn't give her the ring yet. He's supposed to give her, maybe he does in a second. Bitboy made a sound that had not previously been categorized in any of the behavioral documentation the Federation had compiled on his species. This is like the 5th time that you say Bitboy made a sound that no one had heard before, or no one had talked about before. And you describe them all as somewhat of a bark and a whimper or a cry. So just say that he made a very I don't know, a very vulnerable whimper. And that he was trying to hold it back because this is dumb. He crossed the room in 4 long bounds and climbed into her lap and pressed his face against her shoulders. Sharon put her arms around him, both of them, the left arm and the augmented right, both, and held on. Cole watched them and did not try to describe what it felt like. There was not a word in it, not a word for it yet. There would be eventually. He would find it. Emily came in 20 minutes later with 2 more coffees and a jar of blackberry preserves. Saw me behind her with a second jar and the expression of a man who's been told to bring the preserves and has done so without asking questions. She set them on the table beside the road atlas. I told him about the route, Emily said, pointing at Cole. He's going to tell you about the route. He went through Prescott, Sharon said, from the chair. Bitboy had migrated to the window ledge, but was still within arm's reach, keeping track. He does this every time. He always adds 40 minutes to avoid the freeway and then complains about the drive. I don't complain, Cole said. You say long drive in a tone that means complaining. That's just what the drive is. Emily sat on the edge of the window bench and watched the 2 of them and drank her coffee with the expression of a person for whom this was exactly the right amount to be the third person in the room for. Outside, but she's not the third person in the room. She's not the third person in the room. She's the fourth. Sami's in there. Dum-dum. Outside, the pines were growing dark with the late afternoon. What? What is going on here? When does this take place? She came in 20 minutes later. It's fucking nighttime. Oh my gosh. I want to kick someone in the dick. All right, here we go. Late afternoon, light dropping. Sierra did not do gradual evenings. I like that. And I like the Western Ridge. I like the part about the Western Ridge taking the warmth with it the way it always did. I like that the Sierras did not do gradual evenings. However, this is 20 minutes after Cole came in, and Cole watched the stars go up. So this is nighttime. Damn it! This late afternoon bullshit has got to go. You need to fix this. You need to go through this entire. Just go through the chronology of everything, and make sure there's no errors. The air was growing cold. The edges and the cabin would need the wood stove soon. That was fine. That was what the wood stove was for. The road atlas was on the table. The coffee was warm. All right. This is shit. Cut it. Cole looked at the jar of blackberry preserves and thought about the evening in this cabin a long time ago. The wood stove going, the snow on the ridge, everyone there at once. He thought about a kitchen table full of books and diagrams and a mother who'd been a chemical engineer before she decided she was a mother. He thought about a Harley Davidson in a driveway. I feel like you can only use the Harley Davidson in a driveway once per chapter maximum. This is the second time you've talked about it here. Maybe he can remember something about a summer delivering pizzas. He thought, I'm going to be okay. He thought it before in the cargo bay with Sam's hand on his shoulder and Heavy's weight against his side, and Bitboy crying in a way he'd never cried before. See, that's what I'm talking about. Boom, here it is again. He had thought it meant he had thought it and meant it, and then had months of space to find out whether it was true. Clunky, fix it. It was true. He was still carrying things. He would always be carrying things. The crew of the Polaris, the cabin in the Sierras, the country road in the dark with the hazards clicking. But the carrying was different now. The warden had put down the keys. The cell door had been open the whole time. I don't know if that cell door is too repetitive in this chapter. He was the one doing the carrying. That the substance had told him was a great deal. He looked at Sharon, the left eye and the augmented eye, the plating where her shoulder used to be, the arm that was hers, and the arm that was something else. And he felt it, the thing the teenage Cole in the Tricelle had foreshadowed. Love and fury in the same breath. His father fighting with less and less of himself, loving with all of it anyway. And the thing Cole had called letting go was just the last of what the man had. Sharon coming back in pieces was the mirror. He forgave his father in the same moment he accepted Sharon as she was now. Not despite the fury, but through it. The way you walk through a door you didn't know was open. He did not say any of this out loud. He did not need to. He was telling Emily something about the gaps, about a memory that had come back that morning, specific and unexpected. The smell of the sequoia pines at 6 a.m. when the dew was still on them. She was describing it with the precision of someone noting an interesting data point. No, here's a... Not making it larger than it was, not making it smaller, just accurate. That's stupid. It's still fixing terminology from like 7 things ago. This is garbage. Cut it. Also, Sharon saw the ring as Cole pulled it out earlier, and then nothing happened. That would have been the moment that he would have given it to her. In fact, what's even cuter is if you wait until BitBoy joins them and he does his little baby sounds or whatever, and then he does it there, because then it's kind of like a family. It's kind of like 2 parents and a kid, even though they don't have kids. Like BitBoy's kind of their kid. So I think that's a great moment for him to give it back to her and say everything. I think you have it in the next chapter in the bowling alley, but why would he show it to her here and then just stick it back in his pocket? That's a dick move. That was who she was. That had always been who she was. He thought, I know who you are. I keep losing the where. I'm working on it. He thought, me too. That makes no sense. He thought, me too makes no sense. He thought, we can do this slow. We can do this as slow as it needs. He thought, all we have is time. That's way better than this garbage. Sharon looked over at him and said, you're doing the thing again. What thing? The going somewhere else while staying in the room thing. I'm right here. You're mostly right here. She looked at him with full precision of both eyes, which is better than before. It is better than before, he agreed. She held out her hand. He took it. Outside, the last light dropped behind the ridge in the... Oh, God. What is wrong with you? Oh, my gosh. It's been dark night for hours at this point. And the cold came down off the high country the way it did every evening up here. clear, clean, certain, and in the cabin, the four of them, Cole, Sharon, Emily, BitBoy. Where the fuck did Sami go? Okay, first of all, that's a repeat on the window ledge, making sure everyone was accounted for. This is redundant. You already said that the air was clear and clean and certain in this chapter already. Second of all, where the fuck did Sami go? There's 5 of them in the cabin now. 5. And actually, earlier when you said that Emily was okay being the 3rd person in this room, she might have been the 5th if BitBoy had already arrived. 4. Sat in the shared quiet of people who have arrived somewhere they needed to get and are not yet done resting. Jeez Louise, there it is again. This is that really dumb formula again. They just sat in a shared moment. That's it. They just sat in a shared moment. Heavy called the next morning. So, Heavy said. Yeah, Cole said. How is she? She's Sharon. No, she's not. She's not a quadriplegic. She's just a badass robot with a hole in her head that they filled in with metal. They keep trying. Jeez Louise. Ricardo was quiet for a moment. That's all I needed to know. Another pause, and in the full weight of a man who'd been carrying the knowledge of Sharon T's name and a driver's license in a totaled SUV on a mountain road for 14 months, and had said nothing and had driven, I told her everything. Oh, Lord, gee, this is so much. Oh, my gosh. Actually, let's just do the whole thing. Sharon is not a quadriplegic on hospice. Okay, everyone's treating her like she's a fragile, inept person. She's not. So he would just say, "How's Sharon doing?" Because he misses her and he's glad to have her back too. Now, the part that he says, "I told her all of it," where he's talking about telling Sam about the crazy stuff. That's a weird run-on sentence that makes no sense. That needs to be cut up and delivered in a way that we understand that Ricardo is telling Sam about the attack on the road. How'd she take it? She cried, and then she said she wanted to go bowling. When? Cole said. She said, whenever you want. She said, bring everybody. She said, and here Ricardo's voice did the thing it did when he was working to keep it from going somewhere that would require him to acknowledge the feeling. She said, you've earned it. Okay, that part. I like she said, whenever you want, bring everybody. That's great. This is cheesy. It's dumb. Cut it. He can just say that you can show that he and Sam are close in another way. We all have, Cole said. Ricardo was quiet for a while after that. He stood at the porch. What the fuck? He called. Oh my God. He called. Heavy called the next morning. Holy shit. You just said that Ricardo called him, and now he's at the cabin drinking a beer, leaning against the porch railing, which I like that one better. Cut the call thing. That's stupid. And Ricardo is just going to come visit, and he's going to come give Sharon a giant hug instead of asking if she's okay. He had been a Federation man in the marrow. Bones is probably better, but I think Marrow's good. That was his institution, his framework, his people. He'd always had a rough taxonomy for anyone outside it. This is a stupid, stupid way to express how he didn't get along with other people. These two words, rough taxonomy, are like cardboard for my brain. Sorry, sandpaper. This is like running sandpaper over my brain using stupid words like this. The colony people, unhinged true believers, the collective earnest, a little bit much, cookie people, not enemies, just not his world. Then Taylor Glenn turned out to be the machine. Alpha Corp built the suppression. Bionic Sharon came through a docking tube. And the woman he was in love with had been a collective ever since before she boarded the Golden Dawn. Sam hadn't made a speech about it. She had explained plainly what the collective actually was and what it had actually been doing, fighting for the thing Ricardo was loyal to from inside for years. Okay. Yeah, we know she didn't make a speech about it, and I want to hear that written out in the book where she does explain plainly the collective was doing what the Federation should have been doing. All right. He had to accept that his intuition was captured and the people he had written off as kooky idealists were the ones kooky. Oh, kooky, not cookie. Kooky. Are kooky and cookie spelled the same? Kooky ideal kooky cookie people. Little bitches. No, kooky idealists were the ones that had been holding the line. The dude abides, Coley, he said. To no one in particular. Well, he just said it to Coley, you dumbass. What is it? What? He addresses Cole with his term of endearment, and then it says that he says it to no one in particular. Pick a lane. What the hell? Then after a moment, that's the whole thing. You can't control what the institution turned out to be. You can only control whether you abide. He looked at the beer, drank it, set the bottle on the railing without a sound. Why did he set the bottle on the railing? Whatever. Yeah, a long pause. Cole, I'm here. I'm glad you came home. Me too, Cole said. A pause. She wants to know if Sharon can bowl. Cole thought about Sharon's augmented arm. He thought about the specific set on her shoulders when she decided she was going to do something. God help the bowling alley if she can't, he said. Heavy laughed. The sound of it filled the line. What line? What the hell? This is so crazy. Jeez Louise. Sam does not want to know if Sharon can bowl because she knows that Sharon can bowl because she helped her get into her augment and change the software. So that's a non-starter. Again, we're not worried about Sharon. The part that is funny is God help the bowling alley if she can't. So I think Heavy should ask, how do you think Sharon's going to do with her bionic arm? And then Cole can think about Sharon's determination and tenacity and say, I guess we'll find out. God help the bowling alley. That's funny. The part about filled the line, that's what line are they filling? Heavy laughed. The sound of his laughter filled the valley. That's better. All right. Hey, kids. If you want to know more about the cryptocurrency project that inspired this book and is also inspired by this book, go to agproject.io and connect your wallet, and you can play this game on the Pulse Chain Network with real cryptocurrency, and you can lose real money. Our Telegram is t.me/anti-gravity saga. That's t.me anti-gravity saga. You can find the link to this book so you don't have to listen to me read it and yell at Claude. And you can also catch up on a lot of other cool stuff going on down there. So thanks again. This is, we'll be reading chapter 28, which is the last chapter next. And I don't know how many weird things we're going to find in that one. Discrepancies, that's the word I was looking for earlier. Discrepancies. We're going to hit our limit before it fixes half of this stuff. But either way, thanks for joining us on another reading. We'll keep them coming. And then the exciting part, once we get through the last chapter and the 3 epilogues, it's going to be exciting to take this into 11 Labs. And I don't know how long of a process that is, if it'll be entertaining to stream or it not, maybe not. Maybe I'll just stream some updates and some clips of it as we get it ready to go. Yeah, good afternoon again. Good afternoon. I thought you were making fun of the fact that it was afternoon like 14 times in that chapter. Yeah, good to see you guys. So I'm going to be streaming a little bit later about the project, about the new token that nobody has been able to buy, except for, you know, the bots. The bots have been buying the hell out of it. And we'll get into all that stuff and count down to the next round, all that fun stuff with the game. And we'll answer your questions in a little bit. So thanks for coming. We'll catch you on the next one. Ciao.